I mentioned the mandible in the last slide. Mandible is the lower jaw. The mandible isn't really a skull bone, it's considered a facial bone. It's attached to the skull mostly by tendons and ligaments that connect it to the mastoid process, but there's a point of the mandible called the mandibular condyle that fits into the temporal bone. This little indentation on the temporal bone here is called the mandibular fossa. When you have TMJ, which can come from grinding your teeth, this is inflammation of the temporal mandibular joint, or the place where your mandible fits into the temporal bone. If the lower jaw becomes dislocated, the trick to popping it back in place is to apply pressure downward on the bottom of the mouth, which will release the bones, allowing them to move into place. The maxilla is the upper jaw. I just want to show you that one here. And the cheekbone is called the zygomatic bone. The mandible, or lower jawbone, it's more complicated than you would think. It's a curved bone, actually. Two bones fused together. The general areas of the mandible are the ramus, which means slope, and then the body, which is like it's the piece under your teeth. Feel your mandible in your face. Because you have a small fat pad between the skin and the bone here, you can feel the bone. There's only one feature in the body that you have to know, and it's called the mental foramen. This is a little hole through which nerves run. These nerves are part of a really big nerve that comes from your cranium called the trigeminal nerve. And this is the nerve that serves your teeth and makes them sensitive. The only feature on the ramus that you need to know is called the mandibular angle. Look where this is on the picture. Feel where it is on the side of your face. This is where the bone angles upward to meet with your temporal bone of the skull. Look at the superior or top of the mandible. It's like a Y. These 2 points or ends of the Y are called processes. Sometimes they are also called condyles, which is a word that we know means knobby end that fits with another bone. We talked about the mandibular process as part of the temporal mandibular joint. This is the more posterior This is the more posterior process on the bone, and the anterior process is called the coronoid process. Yes, you also have a coronoid process on the ulna. Is it on the anterior or posterior of the ulna? Huh? Answer.